Hello, everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence, where we believe everyone can achieve all-round success. Today, I'm going to be having a conversation with Dr. Olalekan Samuel Ogunleye, and we're going to be talking about exploiting the potential of artificial intelligence in Africa. You see, the future is intelligent. By 2030, artificial intelligence is going to contribute about $15.6 trillion to the global GDP. Furthermore, augmentation that allows people to work with artificial intelligence will create about $2.6 trillion of business value. Africa has, opportunity to use digital technology to, achieve transformation and to be competitive. Africa cannot and should not be left behind. So what we are talking about today is very, very important, and it has generated a lot of interest. A lot of people on Facebook, on Twitter have been, asking a lot of questions. So today we're going to be looking into the questions you've asked. Then I also have some questions I'm going to be asking our expert today, Dr. Olalekan. So without wasting time, let's just get started. So the first question I'm going to be asking Doc is, just tell us about yourself. Who is Dr. Olalekan? People would like to know you.
Thank you very much. My name is Olalekan Samuel Ogunleye. I'm an IT expert. My focus mainly is on cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, and I also do a lot of software development, most especially in mobile and web enterprise application. So I had my elementary education up until my first degree, university level, in Nigeria. And in 2005, I moved to South Africa to do my master's degree in computer science. And then after that, I got a job in South Africa and I decided to stay put in South Africa. And then again, I did my PhD, and I'm currently working as an head of IT at one of the government institutions called National Institute of Occupational Health, NIOH.
Wow, that's interesting, Doc. There's this question I want to ask you. Why did you decide to choose cybersecurity and artificial intelligence as area of focus or area of interest?
So I basically, the reason why I choose cybersecurity, number one, is because I looked at some of the problems that we have that are emanating from Nigeria, basically, and I thought I should be able to provide a solution to the cybercrime that we are facing, especially from the diaspora point of view. I chose artificial intelligence based on my experience when I was working for Google in 2014. So I realized that as at that time, the concept of machine learning was actually gaining momentum, and I started learning machine learning and data science, which is actually an aspect of machine learning. These two areas are basically the aspect of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is basically the intelligence of computer, which is not natural, which is not God-given intelligence, but which is actually human-created intelligence. That's basically where we got the word artificial from. So, and in 2017, I worked for a company called Authenticate. It's an institution that is owned by University of Johannesburg. So in this company, we develop most of the facial recognition for some of the South African banks and telco companies. And that is basically where I honed the skills, because these are basically the concept of artificial intelligence, deep learning, neuroscience and deep science. So that is basically where I picked interest. And since then, looking at the concept of where the world is currently in the era of the fourth industrial revolution, I realized that these are some of the skills that actually one needs to have, not only when you are in IT environment, but in every environment in order to be successful.
I like that. I like that definition of artificial intelligence, computer intelligence. How can these artificial intelligence transform Africa?
There are a lot of ways. So if you look at it, Africa itself is part of a world that is increasingly characterized by an enhanced connectivity, a situation where data is pervasive. It is valuable. So there's a unique opportunity for Africa to leverage the new digital technologies, which is artificial intelligence, to drive large-scale transformation and competitiveness in the areas of agriculture, healthcare, government, financial services, and education. If we look at basically what we are facing now with regards to COVID-19, which actually hit everybody suddenly, you realize that nowadays we have a system that can actually teach student online without lecturers being there, and these systems can actually also make recommendation for students. The same way with government, where especially if you look at Africa, the truth of the matter remains that we have been impoverished in terms of the way the government deals with us, and this is basic. Yes,
Doc,
I think I'm listening to you.
I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying this basically has to do with the concept of people not having skills to deal with citizens. So AI, artificial intelligence, actually holds a lot of key to uplift African communities through agriculture, healthcare system, government, financial services, and education.
Thank you so much. But there are always challenges everywhere, also including Africa. So what are the challenges to rapid adoption and implementation of AI technology on the continent? Okay, I asked the question the other time. I said, what are the challenges? Because there are challenges everywhere. You know, what are the challenges to, rapid adoption and implementation of AI technology on the continent?
So the first challenges basically is inability to reach all and sundry. Artificial intelligence in Africa as it stands now is, number one, the inability to reach everyone, almost everyone. We know we cannot reach everyone, but at least there has to be a way where it can reach a large percentage of people. Secondly is getting the right skill that will assist Africa in implementing artificial intelligence, in designing artificial intelligence system that will solve the problem that we have in Africa. That's second one. And then thirdly is that employees have to know that artificial intelligence has not in any way come back to take their job, but it has actually come to complement their job in new ways, because that is one of the challenges that many people think artificial intelligence has come to take their job, and so they don't want to allow that change to come into effect. And I think another one is that we have to find a way of making sure that artificial intelligence are used ethically, so that they are not being used for fraudulent purpose, so that the world will not lose trust in us while we implement such things.
Thank you so much. So what steps can we take so that Africa can exploit these very important technology? What steps? We've talked about the challenge. What steps can be taken?
So the first thing is that it is very, very important. Some people might not like this, but it is very, very important to actually make sure that we do what we call benchmarking, or we leverage the experience of other countries who have actually taken leadership roles in artificial intelligence. So that is more or less like international benchmarking. Countries such as China, countries such as India, countries such as America, countries such as Canada, Sweden, Estonia. You know, Estonia today, people don't have to go out to go and queue while voting. You can vote immediately, and the votes are counted on the spot as you are voting. You can monitor the vote on your phone within the corner of your bedroom. You can vote and keep monitoring the vote, and you can tweet and say this person is leading. That is basically where our artificial intelligence is assisting them. So another thing is there are basically element of AI strategy that would work for Africa, that government in Africa, most especially the institutions in Africa like NEPAD, like African Union, so they have to put in place like the supportive infrastructure, the regulatory policy framework, and also the most important thing is that there have to be a collaborative environment. Without collaborative environment, we are going to have a challenge in implementing artificial intelligence. When I was working for that company in 2017, Authenticate, we found out that China has actually implemented a facial recognition system through mobile devices using deep learning cognitive system to actually recognize face on the spot. But what China did not, China is trying to market the system into various continents, but their system was unable to work in Africa. Why? Because the cognition of our face is different. And you will agree with me that even though we're in Africa, the texture of our face, I don't want to go technical, but I just want to use this to explain. The texture of our face is different in Africa. The way our face are constructed and the way the texture is in South Africa is different from the way their faces are constructed and texture in East Africa. The same thing to West Africa. So all those things, we have to have a way of collaboration between various research institutions, that is academic institution in Africa, so that we can work together and leverage things together. This is basically what China and India and Singapore has managed to do very well. So there's a need for collaborative environment within the research institution in Africa in order for us to actually take a proper step to exploit the potential of artificial intelligence. Because if we work in isolation, we might not be able to bring appropriate solution that can assist African in bringing the potential of artificial intelligence to Africa.
Thank you so much. What do you think should be the place of funding? This morning I was reading about the government of Nigeria allocating 75 billion naira, that's about $195 million, to help young people. What do you think should the government do when it comes to allocating money to entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs trying to look into the direction of artificial intelligence? Or can some of those young people, can they do a pitch, elevator pitch, trying to solve a problem, try to build a company using artificial intelligence? What's going to be the cost? What's going to be the minimum amount of money they are going to need?
It's going to be difficult to actually put an estimation on the amount of money that they will need. But what I think the government should do is that it's very, very important that the government partner with private organization in order to actually make sure that these monies are judiciously utilized. For instance, there is a need for an ecosystem hub, like more or less like innovation hub within the country. For instance, if you look at Nigeria, most of the innovation hub that they have had, like Andela, get to a particular stage. The hype is always big in the beginning, but when it gets to a particular stage, then this hype goes down. You don't get to hear about anything anymore. You don't. It's either people mismanage the money or there's no fund for them to proceed. So NGO or organizations like Andela should actually, government should look into their direction. When government is making money available, they shouldn't make it available through their department or ministry. They should make that money available through organizations that have expertise in actually implementing this, because government across the world, they don't always have the expertise when it comes to topic like this. But when you go to a tech startup, an innovation hub, they always have expertise in that area. So that 75 billion naira, if government is going to make judicious use of it, they need to actually look for an NGO to partner with in order for them to be successful at the implementation.
Thank you so much. I said the other time when we were starting that the topic really generated a lot of interest on social media. 3 people have sent questions. I'm just going to be asking you to do justice to the question. The first person sent a question. His name is Samson Kayode on Facebook. He wanted to know the impact of 5G on development in Africa and the safety. There's this, conspiracy theory about it. And I'm sure there was a time you really dealt with it. Just summarize what you said about it, so that other people that have not read what you wrote about it can, be able to understand your view about that.
So thank you very much for that question, Mr. Samson Kayode. So the truth of the matter is we are currently operating digital economy across the globe. And there is huge opportunity for us in Africa. And that opportunity basically depends on the necessary radio frequencies. Those radio frequencies basically include the one that we know as millimeter wave frequency, which deliver ultra high capacity and ultra speed services. And this is basically the 5G system or technology. Look, as I'm talking to you, in my own house, I use 5G. I've been using 5G for the past 4 to 5 months now, and there's never been any challenge. People have been using 5G in my community, in my abode, in my area, and there's never been any problem. The 5G, the difference between 5G and 4G is that a movie that you watch, that you can download, which will take you 30 minutes to download that movie, with 5G you will download the same movie within 2 to 3 minutes. That's the effect of 5G. Now, the economic potential of 5G services would actually see, according to report, would see $5.2 billion of economic expansion in Africa. So Africa has to stand firm to protect its interest and secure its digital future. Not that 5G is this, 5G is that, is basically a conspiracy theory. That's all I can say. So the 5G is a very powerful service, technology that has come to stay.
Thank you so much. I like that response. Yeah, I believe that too. Another person that sent a question is, what is the area of private sector active participation in AI financial investment?
Oh, that's a very good question. There are a lot of areas. There are a lot of areas. We have anti-money laundering, and those areas they have been dealt with. Solutions have been provided, especially in the financial sector. One of them on top of the list is anti-money laundering alert system, or case management and decision making. So, and also anti-fraud system. For instance, if you look at, this is based on data science, data mining, machine learning, artificial intelligence technology. A situation, that is why you see most companies in America, when this IP belongs to Nigeria, the system just doesn't work. So that's the case of artificial intelligence. So monitoring and change management. That's another one. Another one is customer and client satisfaction. So there's a machine learning system that assists financial service firms to track customer behavior so that they offer them tailored financial advice and financial services. Another one is basically calculating risk. So smart systems or smart machines can analyze large number of disparate data sets, such as maybe credit card, credit scores, the spending pattern of a particular FMB, for instance, do this. And they use this to accurately assess the risk of a client in offering them financial and loan assessment. And then they also use this to give them a tailor-made specific financial service. So there are a lot of ways, basically. Another one is reacting to market trends, whereby there's an AI systems that have been trained to track the trading volatility or to manage the wealth. In the time past, financial or actuarial scientists basically sit down, look at market trends, do a paper calculation, can take days or months before they can arrive at a particular risk. But nowadays, within 2-3 seconds, that can happen using an artificial intelligence system.
Thank you so much, Doc, for that response. The top person that sent a question, Lolly Posh, William Lash, also on Facebook, she asked this question: what is the future of AI in Africa, especially Nigeria? Can AI help to solve the permanent problem of power supply in Nigeria?
Yes. Look, this can happen, but then again, one needs to be cautious in giving a confident response. It depends on the how do I call it? I'm looking for that English acceptance. It depends on the acceptance of the stakeholders, the policy makers. So, for instance, in Nigeria, there's a huge future for artificial intelligence in Nigeria particularly, in Africa generally and Nigeria particularly. So if you look at Nigeria, if we accept, there's what we call technology acceptance model term. If researchers in Nigeria can actually use term to look at how artificial intelligence can assist, the potential is very high, because let us be honest with ourselves. Nigeria is lagging behind when it comes to technology adoption, and many challenges, which include inadequate knowledge, inadequate infrastructure, lack of research capabilities, and all this must be overcome. So if we are going to actually implement this, it's not about we saying, okay, can Nigeria, if Nigeria is ready, all this must be overcome. We must upskill ourselves in terms of AI, the way we are, the kind of academic content we deliver in our research institution. I'm talking about the universities and polytechnics in the country. It has to change. It has to reflect the current uh, uh, academic content. There must be adequate infrastructure. The researchers in those institutions must be ready. Government must be willing to fund research. So if we won't find solutions to harness that, we're not going to realize the full potential. So the digital divide in terms of artificial intelligence will still be pervasive, if you understand what I'm saying. So, however, it is important to stress that government and private sector, either in Nigeria or in Africa, they have the responsibility to actually harness the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning so that they can use it to help the community to grow and prosper, so that electricity generation company can use the data that they generate to provide adequate electricity supply to the citizen. So that's very, very important.
Thank you so much. I like your response. The last person that sent a question is Adiola Kitoyi on Twitter. She asked, how can the next generation develop the skills in AI with the current state of IT infrastructure and system in many African countries? And two, how could the private sector contribute to accelerating education of AI in Nigeria?
So, like I said, which is, I think, is actually directly linked to the question that was asked previously.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is that government in majority of African countries are not adopting technologies. And I can authoritatively tell you, the number one country in Africa when it comes to technology adoption is Kenya. With the exception of Kenya, Egypt, then South Africa. And the reason why Nigeria takes the fourth position is because of our population. It's basically because of our population. So the government needs to work with the private sector. However, the private sector needs to actually see this as a way of their own CSI contribution to the development of the community. And if the government is not cooperating enough in terms of mismanagement of that, they may have to run it themselves. One of them is funding the research institution. Perhaps you see, let me give an example in South Africa where you have in most of these universities where you have telecom center of excellence. They name it that because they are funding a particular research to bring out excellence in those institutions. So these are these are kind of public-private partnership where the private sector has to find a way of funding the research institution. And then when it's not only enough to fund the research institution, you have to also participate in training those young talent people that we have, especially in Nigeria. For instance, taking them for IT to come and do industrial training, taking them for internship, and then give them what is obtainable so that in the industry, so that you can be able to find synergy between the research and application of that research in the industry. I think that is the best way that private country can actually contribute, because private country in Nigeria and Africa, they have resources, they have infrastructure, but the question is, are they using this infrastructure and the resources to contribute? For instance, most data centers in the banks are in Nigerian banks are becoming redundant now. Why? Because they are migrating to cloud. Why not use this data center to train people who are actually interested in big data, who are interested in IT, IT technology, IT infrastructure management, who are interested in cyber security, who are interested in IT management and IT governance. So it's very, very important that the private sector actually collaborate, especially with the public institution And I don't want to exclude private institution as well. Let me just say collaborate with the institution generally.
Thank you so much, Doc. The importance of private-public partnership can never be overemphasized. We've been stressing that from the beginning of this video recording. Now, you see, a lot of people saw your bio and, they will say, wow. Somebody even said that this guy finished from Ladoke Akintola University. And there was a time your university, your alma mater, there was a time they had a problem. It was closed for many years or many months. And that university was able to produce somebody like you. And a lot of people have been produced in so many universities in Nigeria that are doing well all over the world. And people are excited about how you've been successful, you've made success of your career, and maybe somebody might be looking at you, maybe somebody that just finished post degree and saying, how can I be like this person? How can I be successful like this person? What advice are you going to just give to someone maybe in his final year or has just finished his first degree and has read your bio? What advice are you going to give to that person, to that young man, to that young lady?
Thank you very much for that compliment, and to everyone who has actually made that compliment. But going straight to the question, we are in the era of fourth industrial revolution. And I think it's very, very important now that even universities in Africa start teaching that. So now, the ability to have some skills beyond what anybody have gone to school to learn is very, very keen to becoming a successful person in this area of fourth industrial revolution. So one must have ability to think very critically, to think beyond the solution to a particular problem. So what that means is that it is very, very important for somebody to have complex problem solving. One must be very, very creative. There must be element of creativity. One must always think about a solution to problems that do not even exist. So it is very, very important to also learn how to coordinate with others, because you may be brilliant, you may be talented, but you need coordination with others. These we call networking. This is basically where people discover you, and they be one way or the other. You have somebody who can actually use your talent or uncover or unravel your talent. Some people, they are like raw gold. Their talent are like raw gold. They need somebody who can actually take that gold and mine it. And as a result, when you have to present yourself, so you must have the ability to deliver service. You must be service oriented. And one thing is that emotional intelligence is very, very key. And most of these capabilities that I've actually mentioned, they are expressions of emotional intelligence, which basically are one of the defining characteristics of this 21st century employee that we find ourselves. So the truth of the matter is, emotional intelligence will be the top skills that are needed by all. Because as machines are taking over, as we do everything, as we move into the industry, we begin to place ourselves in greater soft skills and tasks that cannot be performed by a robot. We need to, because whatever we ask the robot to do is what the robot does for us. So it's very, very important. And then you must upskill yourself. Do not stay on what they have taught you in school alone, especially if you're a final year student. Read beyond, attend conference, look for a mentor if possible, who are in the industry, and do not make money the bedrock of your career, Because some people, when they get mentored, they think what the mentor is supposed to be doing for them is to give them money. You need to mine the experience, the intelligence, the knowledge of that mentor. Mine it and then refine them and make them and put them into use.
Wow, that's powerful. You've touched almost everything that a young man would need to succeed in life. If they can really implement all what you've said, and also, especially, if they can also trust God. I want to now ask you, this question. What's going to be your final word, today?
My final word is that everybody must be getting ready. We must get ready. Beside the fact that God is the maker of everything and we must put our trust in him, we must trust him. God only gives favors to those who labor. So we must get ready. There's one thing for opportunity to come, and there's another thing for opportunity not to meet preparation. So get ready. Make sure that when opportunity comes, it meets preparation. So upskill yourself, because change will not wait for us to be proactive in upskilling. That's very, very important. So we need to start training ourselves now. And when that opportunity comes, especially in the era of fourth industrial revolution, when that opportunity comes, it meets you being fully prepared.
Thank you so much, Doc. I just want to thank you for taking time out to do this recording with me. I'm so grateful. And I'm sure when people listen to this thing, they are really going to be blessed.
Thank you so much.
I want to wish you a wonderful day ahead. Enjoy the rest of your day. To our listener, I just wanted to let you know, that artificial intelligence presents an opportunity for Africa to be at the forefront of the fourth industrial revolution. And like Doc has said, Africa must have, a unified and a good strategy. Then it's also very important for us to also consider the threats. We've talked about the opportunities, and Doc also talked about some of the threats. Like one, what's going to be the impact of rapid adoption of AI on jobs? Some people might lose their jobs. So what should government do? It's important for us to begin to think about reskilling of people, educating people, telling people to have, to have emotional intelligence, like what Dr. also said the other time about emotional intelligence, because that's what, robots won't have. Then it's also very, very important for us to talk about another threat, which is strong AI. What's the danger of strong AI? We must also think about that, and how do we prevent, strong AI from being a problem. I hope that everyone has learned one or two things today. I want to wish you a wonderful day ahead. See you next time. God bless you. Bye.